Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of the E-Models build of the Trumpeter 148 scale huge U-boat from Ted here at E-Models, emodels.co.uk. That's them down there. And in this episode, this second episode, we're going to have a look at putting the bomb room together. Bomb room? The torpedo room. I apologise first if you've been waiting for this episode. It's just that we've been having a bit of a time to get the E-Models live stream up and running. We've got that going now, so it's time to get back to the workbench and get on with the build of the submarine. I haven't been neglecting it. I have been building little bits and pieces in between live shoots, and the pieces are all ready to go together now, and we'll have a look at them, what we've done, how we've done it. We'll finish off some of the weathering and put the bits together. So without further ado, let's get across to the workbench and I'll show you what I've been doing and the parts as they've come together. We'll start. Okay, let's go across to the workbench. Here we are. Well, these are the torpedo tubes. There's quite a bit of work in these. I did say that I wouldn't bore you with gluing them all together because there are lots and lots of parts all around here. Find a pointy stick, excuse me. Find a pointy stick. There's lots of parts all around, all the pipe work, the pneumatics and everything that goes along with the torpedo tubes. And there's some tiny decals that go right on the end here. These need to go on. There's some decals that need to go on some of the equipment in here. And finally it all comes together. I've got the last two to go in. They do build fairly easily. There's no issues with them. Just follow the instructions. Just follow them along and they go together fairly easily. I did think of numbering them, but the numbers did get mislaid, and actually they are quite recognisable. Just follow the instructions and make sure that they get the right ones, and they fit into this bulkhead, the forward bulkhead. It's usually about the first bulkhead in the submarine, if I remember, and they will just clip into there, clip in position, and with a drop of glue you can get them all glued in. You'll notice a difference in the colours. Can you see this one's nice and shiny and this one's been weathered down a little bit? But we'll have a look at the other parts and then we'll come back and we'll look at weathering the torpedo tubes up and get these bits together. Right, what else have we done? Right, this is the roof of the torpedo room. Roof? Yeah, bulkhead. Do you know, I can't remember the name. It's not a roof, it's not a ceiling. What is it on a ship? The deck? Bulkheads? Deckhead. Deckhead. Right. Anyway, the colour, you might remember I hadn't quite made up my mind in the last episode about what colour I was going to do the interior. The paint references from Trumpeter tell us that the colours are a Mr. Hobby of 338, H338. As you know, I like the MIG colours, and I had to do a little bit of researching and shopping around, and not shopping around, a little bit of research just to find an equivalent colour. I had, as you initially saw, primed these in the UMP Ultimate Primer grey primer. My thoughts were that I would apply a white grey coat of paint thinly to the primer, to the grey primer, leaving it thin enough so it actually turned the white paint to a darker sort of shade. However, I came out and I found MIG light grey, AMIG 209, to be a perfect match, ideal for the colour I want. And the colour of this has gone on brilliantly over the grey. However, I think being a grey, I did use quite a bit of this to cover the grey, so I think from now on I'll be priming, instead of the grey, I'll be priming in white, just so it just doesn't take as much of the light grey paint to go across it. I then followed the paint guide and painted the ribs in a wood sort of colour. I'm probably thinking that in the torpedo room and probably the living areas, I'm just surmising that the it's just representing a wooden coating on the frames of the vessel, maybe for anti-spark reasons. I have no idea, but that's what I'm thinking anyway. The rest of it has just been followed and painted in such. A lot of people have been in touch with me, and they've been talking about or asking if I'm going to do any lights on this. Yes, I am. I'm going to do some lights, and there are in the kit these here, just plastic lights, just styrene lights, just solid lights, and we just paint them in position just to represent the colours. However, I have noticed that the position of each of these lights corresponds on the top, on the outside of the hull, corresponds with a small dimple, one there. There's one tucked away in there. Can we see over here? There's one there as well. One tucked away down in there. Now, I think this has been very clever of Trumpeter, because the position of that, as I say, corresponds with the lights in there. And my idea is that either Trumpeter have plans in the future to light this model, provide a kit to light it with, or they're providing you with a guide as to where you need to drill to fit small LED grain of wheat bulbs, fit them in. And I would think that these parts here as well are probably the cable routes. That's what I'm hoping, because I can't see any other reason for these being on there. Not yet anyway. It might become apparent as we work further through. This bit, I'm not quite sure what it is. Maybe it's something to do with the opening and closing of the bow doors for the torpedoes. There's obviously a high pressure tank here, but at the moment I haven't an idea what it is. I'm probably thinking this is high pressure tanks, low pressure tanks, for some reason. I was an electrician on a submarine, I wasn't a shipwright, so I don't know what they were. Right, that's that done, that's that. The next part is the torpedo room bulkhead. The aft bulkhead in the torpedo room. This is constructed of lots of little bits, valves, valve wheels, control wheels, bits and pieces of equipment on the bulkhead, and also embossed into the bulkhead as well is some cable trays, wire runs, pipe works, and they just need to be picked out quite slowly and delicately. Just pick them out. In this case I've done them in black just to highlight them. Needs a little bit of work just to be done on this bulkhead yet, because for me it's a little bit bright and shiny, so it'll get the same sort of treatment as we're going to have a look at in the torpedo tubes. We're just going to weather it down and grime it up a little bit with some Starship filth, and we'll talk about that in a minute, so we'll do that. Then there's the I don't know what I'm going to call it. You remember seeing this before if you watch the live stream when I tried to do some streaking on it. Use the Starship filth oil brushes. Once again, I'm just going to darken it down with the Starship filth, so an oil wash, just to take that shine off it. and tone it and blend all the parts together. This is a tray, it's an underdeck tray for the torpedoes, and they will sit on there. These have been done, you may have seen in the last video, these were done in the AK Interactive True Metals. These, and they work brilliantly. I have found since that the waxes, they do rub off, but the once the wax is dry, you can apply a coat of varnish. In this case I've used the Alclad 2 Aqua Gloss, and it protects the varnish from rubbing off, although probably once it's in the model it's not going to rub off anyway, but it's not going to get any handling, hopefully. So that's that. So we have them to put on there. There's 4, I think, go on there. I'll have to check the instructions, but I'm sure there's 4 that go on there. 1, 2, 3, 4 that about fit, and they will go underneath the floor in the torpedo room. Now, the final part before we start and look at it. Oh no, there's another part yet. We have here the main compartment itself. This is the torpedo room floor. This section here is underneath the torpedo tubes. They will go in there like that. Now what I've done here, you may notice that there's the rusting, a bit of weathering going on here. In my opinion, as the torpedoes get primed or cleaned or opened, there's going to be some water dripping out, plus the general condensation of the vessel itself, and this will sort of run down underneath the torpedo tubes where it's not particularly accessible. It's not going to get walked on as in the rest of the boat itself, so it is going to take on a rusty patina type look, and all I've done with that is just quite simply just brushed over, let's find some pigments. This is fresh rust. It's just a different colour of the rust. All I just rubbed it on with a brush, just rubbed it down, and then just changed the colour slightly to make it a little bit lighter as it got around the edges, and then just fixed it with some X20 thinners, as you've seen me done before on the other models. And you can see here the bunks. We've put these in now. Remember I said I was going to leave them off because until I painted everything, until it was all ready to go in. The control section here, the torpedo control here, the light board, that's all been put in with the decals gone on and some weathering gone on around here, just to take that edge off the shininess, to make it sort of go. The floor itself, that's just gone down with finding it. Let's find the colour. I can't find it. No, I must have put it back in the rack. That is just a gunmetal. Airbrushed it. Rather than painted it, I airbrushed it because it just gives it a flatter, smoother sheen. And then I've gone over that with just an oil wash, just to tone it down, take the shine off it, and it seems to have worked quite well. There's a couple of other bits to go in. There's a torpedo hoist there, that's got to go in. And now the other bit to go in the bunks, fix the bunks back, is the I thought they were ladders initially, but they're not. They're actually sides of the bunks, just to stop the guys rolling out of them in a rough sea or anything like that. Now these are quite fiddly to go together, and also if I line this up there, if I line this up on this line here, you'll see that they're all lined up, but the top ones, See here, starts at the higher. Actually, I think I've got this the wrong way around. There, let's line it up on there. You can see that the top rail. Now, when you cut them off, when you cut these off, take note of the right part because they step down. It's obviously the shape of the bulkhead, the deck head. They'll step down to fit properly. Hopefully I got these the right way around as well. But remember, when you take these parts off, these are, I will tell you if you're making notes. Let's have a look. Sorry about the noise. This part is G25, that one. Z26, that one. G24, that one. And that is the rod there, this upright. It's a whole rod is G43 and G45. And that one is shorter than that one. So remember that if you get to this part, if you are building it, get to this part, don't mix them up. Hopefully, now I've said that, they will fit in there. You know, hopefully we've got it the right way around. Right, let's go back now. I'll get these bits out of the way and we'll go back and have a look at doing some of the weathering and get these torpedo tubes finished, and then we can get it all together. Right, so, sorry, I'm trying to pick that up there. That's that out of the way. Right, we've got these. I'm going to fetch in just some cloth to protect my new mat. I'm trying to keep this clean so that you guys can see what's going on and it's not covered in gunky paint and things like that. I bet by the end of this video I'll have spilt glue on it, all the markings will have gone, there'll be paint over it, but never mind. Right, just a bit of wipe. Just a bit of kitchen roll, a bit quick flash from the white balance. Now the MIG oil brushes. I thought I'd get these from eModels and give them a go. One that Starship Filth is not particularly available now in the tubes like it used to be. I believe the equivalent now is smoke. So if you get MIG smoke in the tubes, this is, well, that's Starship Filth. That's a rare tube of Starship Filth. So you can now get a similar colour in smoke. Right. So these are really easy to use. You just give them a shake. I use them because they're consistent. It's no, you can go back to the oil tubes and use them, or any of the colours that you want, but all we do with these is just as we would with any other, is just apply it in the areas that you want. Now what I'm trying to do is sort of represent the gathering of the oil, gathering of the grime in the corners. And now I forgot which way up the torpedo tube is. That's it. Working at the top, get it the right way around and put the grime in the tops. So we can work from there. Put the grime, put the oils, the Starship Filth where the grime and gunge would gather, and we'll work from there. And just don't need much, it lasts. And do the other side as well, although you probably wouldn't see this. We can do there's a lot of stuff on here, you will do a lot of work and you'll never see it again. Just touch on the end. There's just a representation of the torpedo room door handle, and just a touch of oils because we're going to leave it now. I'll do that one, I'll do the other one as well while we've got the stuff out. One thing about these, you can, if they fall over like that's just done, it won't pour out because there's an anti-spill sort of top in them. Just touch. It's quite a nice fine brush on them. Now what I'm looking at is areas where the grime would gather and then the condensation would drag that grime down around the torpedo. That's why I'm conscious of getting the torpedo tube the right way up, because you wouldn't want to get it into your bulkhead and then find that the grime is running uphill. So that goes in there like that, just checking. So we can, oh, a little bit much there, never mind. So we could put them in there like that. Now I'm just going to leave this to go off a little bit, just to let it dry out, just for a couple of minutes. And I think, yeah, we'll put them to one side. And I think while we've got the oil brushes out, move that out of the way, we'll do this one as well. And we've got the bulkhead, this bulkhead to do as well. So we can put, I've already put some, you see around here in these webs, I've already put some grime and such down into there. I'm just going to drag some of this in here, just touching it. That's all I'm going to do, and just dragging a little bit across there. And just some under here. Remember, I think if you saw the live stream, I was thinking about making these sort of like a rust spot, but I tend to think the vessels themselves, they wouldn't particularly get rusty. Yeah, they would on the outside. On the inside, it's going to be water sloshing about, things like that. It's not going to be, it's going to get rusty where it's chipped, but these areas are in the bilge. It's probably a dry bilge, so it's not going to slosh around in water all the time, and they're just going to gather grub and grime. So as we said before, it's just a matter of tying them all together, tying all the weathering and everything together. And the same goes for this bulkhead. Just picking areas which we can work in eventually when it's dried a little bit, just to gather just bits of dirt, bits of grime, bits of grubbiness, and we can pull them all out. And we can pull this oil out with a dampened brush with some odourless thinners, and we can pull it and streak it. Yeah, we're not going to be representing rust on this. It's a vessel, it's in use. Parts and things, anything that's going to get rusty is probably going to be outside. Anything that's inside is going to be used. Hands are on it, it's going to be worn. It'll get black and grimy, but it wouldn't necessarily get rusty. So we're not going to really need to look at, it's not like the Panzer, it's not like the Panzer IV. Lots of mud, dirt and grime. I wonder where the mud would come from and something like this. If this was getting muddy, I'd be rather concerned. So that's that. Right, let's leave these for a few minutes. Let the oils and such go off. Just dry a little bit so we can work with them, and then we'll come back. Alright, that's the end of the first segment. See you in a moment. Okay then, welcome back. Welcome. We're gonna go back to the workbench now. Been a few minutes, half an hour, just to let the oils sort of go off a little bit. They won't dry instantly. They'll remain quite workable for quite some time. I've gone on and weathered up some of the bulkheads, the bits and pieces like that, and I'll show you now on the torpedo tubes how I weather them. Let's go back to the workbench. Oh, I've got the torpedo tube. I've already done this one. You can see, hopefully in the light, white on white, it's not the brilliant of things, but see how it's turned it sort of grubby-ish. It's grubby and things like that. All we've got now is just some odorless thinners, a brush. We don't want to soak the brush, we just need to wipe it off. We've also got some cotton buds, you can see the mucky ones where I've used them before, and some makeup sponges. These are brilliant, just for dragging oils and paints. We see that one there is this oil splodge is running a little bit there, so we'll just work out which is up and which is down. So that's the top. We've got the dampness on the brush, and we just start and pull the oil out. Now if you've gone on, if you've put too much on like I have here, that's where you can use your cotton bud just to drag it out a bit more and drag it across the surface and just grubby the surface up a little bit, and then just make it look like there's some moisture being running across the tube, because you'll find as you look around you'll see that moisture sort of runs to the end, runs to the apex of the circumference of, so what am I thinking of, and then it'll drip, and hence the rusty floor in the torpedo room. So we can find, it'll hit that, see here there's this little bit of pipe work, it'll hit that and then it'll either run over it or it'll run round. So just following the natural contours of the circumference of the tube. Now here, the fire button, just drag it down. Doesn't need a lot, just needs to look like it's done that. Back to the other side, see it's nice and clean there. See how we've grubbed that one up now? Maybe a little bit too heavy on there, so I'll probably blend that. I'll just blend it with the edge of the makeup sponge. Just blending it in, and then a bit more thinners just to drag it out. And you can work with these oils for ages before they dry. You could even come back tomorrow and you could still probably have a go at them. It's just a matter of putting it on and then taking it off. Now these, you've got to think that these submarines, apart from being a machine of war, were also the home to the guys, the sailors on them. So yeah, things are going to get dirty, but things are going to get looked after and cleaned as well, because they've got to live there. And those days there wasn't any smoking bans, so there'll be sort of nicotine coated stained areas, grime from the sea, and oils from the machinery, smoke escaping from the diesels, and it's all going to get ingrained. See how it's all going to get ingrained and work its way around the ship. Now just see how we're using the sponge here just to blend it all in. We're making the surface generally look grubby, but at the same time we can use our brush with just some thinners just to drag some of it out and give some dirty mucky streaks. Sorry, apologies for the camera flashing a little bit there. It's probably trying to work out where the white is. Right, so that's that one done. I'll just blend that out a bit more. As I say, you can continue working with these for ages. and that's the two of those. So what we'll do now, we'll get these into there. I do apologise for it flashing. It's probably thinking as I'm moving things around, it's probably trying to, the camera's probably trying to decide which is white and which isn't. We can get these in now. I know the the oils won't be dry, but we can get them in and then work on them again. And as you see at the front here, I've already done some colouring on the bulkhead. Right, so I'll just go and clear this lot up, and we can come back. I'll find some glue and we can put it together. Right, see you in a moment. Okay then, welcome back. Right, we're going to get these torpedoes into that bulkhead. That's the bottom one. I think it's the bottom one. Yep, that's the bottom one. It goes simply, just slide it in. Still some oils on here that I can work with. I didn't finish them all off. So that goes in there. There are locating lugs just to make sure that you get it in the right place. I did try them before of putting them together first and then getting them in, but it didn't seem to quite go in as easy as I thought. So just a touch of glue, and the top one sits on top. No, I don't need that. Don't need that glue yet. It's a bit of a fiddle to get them in, but they do go, and they'll only go one way, and they do sit neatly on top of each other. How complicated that! Look how complicated and excellent the detail is in that. You will notice that the top tubes sit slightly forward of the bottom ones. Make sure you get them in straight, because I have a feeling that if they don't go in straight, the rest of it won't work as well either. So a bit more glue, just run some glue around the joints now and give it a couple of minutes just to let the glue start biting and going off. And then we can glue the top to the bottom tube by dropping some glue in there. You can sit like this for 5 minutes and let it go off, or you can hold it there and we can work on that little bit there. While the glue's going off, just rub this around. See what I mean? That even after a few minutes you can still work on that star-shaped filth. Take some off here. Just while I'm holding these together to let the glue sort of grab, really. There's no other way of really doing it. Finding some big clamps or something to get it together, to hold it. Make sure your tubes are orientated right, the straight up and down and the straight left and right, and they're close together. I must say that it does fit together very well. See, as yet I haven't decided. I didn't put the torpedoes in the tubes as it said in the instructions. I'm not sure yet whether you'll be able to see them. If you can, what I'll probably think I'm doing, because I don't think I can shove one of these down there now, what I would think of doing was probably just cut the head off and just put that in there. Not this one, obviously, because I painted this. get the other torpedoes and maybe 1 or 2 tubes. Just put the torpedo, slide the head in from that end, just to show the tubes are full. I know that to maximise the torpedo carrying when the vessel went to sea, it would have had all the torpedo tubes filled and every available space for stowage for the torpedoes would have been utilised. They would have carried as many as they could. So yeah, just working these, still working this oil, just because I completely forgot to do it, so it's no better time to do it than now while we're just waiting for the paint to go off. Right, wait for the paint to go off. See in a moment. Paint to go off, hang on, glue, the glue to go off. Right, I think that's given the glue a bit of time to go off. Just one point about the final construction of it. There's a couple of little pipes. I did say that if there was any issues, I'd point them out to you, and using the pointy finger, I'm pointing them out. There's a couple of pipes that run from these air tanks. I'm assuming they're air tanks, and this is the blow air that fires the torpedoes via these tubes that go up here. There's a little bit of a fit issue just on these pipes. I found the best way to do them would be to cut the pipes off from this part here at the top, this one, and then just adjust the pipe by trimming it a little bit at a time until you get it to fit, and after that I don't think anybody will notice, and you get it all right. That's getting all the bits in. Right, that looks quite an impressive piece of plastic, that. It's got all the pipe work in there, and it really looks quite good. It really looks quite effective. Let's see, can you see it up there? Really looks quite effective with all the pipe work in there, and the control sensors at the back. And right, let's put that to one side and look at getting the rest of it together. Alright, that's that bit done. See you in a moment. Right, here's the next bit. This storage for the torpedoes underneath the torpedo room floor. They all sit on a little tray like this, and as you saw, we'd all painted it all up. I have gone and weathered it just the same as I've done for the rest of it, you know, with the oil wash, and then grimed it up a little bit. Now then, we want 4 of these torpedoes, 1, 2, 3, 4, to sit on here. Now what you see I've done here is I've cleaned an area of contact where the torpedoes are going to sit, because once this submarine is all buttoned up, got the sides and everything put on it, we don't want things coming loose. Normally, yeah, your glue would probably eat through some of the acrylic paints down to the plastic, but I didn't really want to take that chance that the vessel will get knocked and you'd have a rogue torpedo rattling around in the bottom of the submarine. So what I've done, as I say, I've rubbed off there down to the plastic again where it's going to make contact with the torpedoes. Don't worry, you're not going to see it because the torpedoes will sit on. And the torpedoes themselves, as you know, the it's the flash. I think it's a reflection of this that's causing a flash. The torpedoes themselves were finished in a wax and then an acrylic varnish over the top of that. So what I've done here, you can see on here, I've just taken a strip of paint off back to the metal so that we can glue them in. And all I've done with that is just taken a sanding stick, find the right position so there's no seams or anything going to show on the or on the torpedo, and just holding it, because all these I would think that all these torpedoes were going to line up, so they wouldn't be sort of like that or like that. They would all be lying up and down like that. See? So what you need to do is just get your torpedo on there like that, and just keeping it steady. Just a few passes, and there we have a contact gluable area. I just didn't want to take the chance that these would get loose or the paint wouldn't take, the glue wouldn't take to the paint, eat through the paint, and we'd end up with loose parts in the vessel. We can clean that up. These are washable. We'll clean that up after. Right, positioning these on here. These, there's 4 of them. They all line up. Let's get the right way around. We also know that, yeah, that's that. We also know that because we've filed them all the same, we'll know where the contact area is, he said. Getting that one wrong. That will go in there like that. I've been having a think about how I'm going to get all these to get glued in. So it doesn't exactly say in the instructions how far up or down on this tray, calling it a tray, that they're meant to go. But get them all in, make sure they're all seated, and then what I'll do, I think I'll glue them one at a time. So I'll glue that one, let that one, I'll glue that one, let that one dry, then I can glue that one to it, then that one to it, and then that one to it. So we'll take some glue. Getting short on glue, have to be getting another bottle. Let me e-models back to the website and have a look at the numbers and parts. And right, that's that one glued. That's that one glued. 3 more to do, and then we could start, I think, and put it all together. Right, I'll go and get these done. Isn't that nice and shiny? It's brilliant, that true metal. Excellent stuff. Right, I'll go and get these together and see you in a moment. Bye. And welcome back. It's been overnight since the last section of the video when I put the torpedoes onto the storage rack beneath the deck of the torpedo room, and everything is now dried overnight. All the glues have set, and we're at that stage now where I think we can put all the bits together and see how they go. Let's go across to the workbench. Here we are. The torpedoes are stuck on. I hope they're not going to come off. I'm not going to bother weathering the tops because I don't really think we're going to see them. The torpedoes themselves would be sort of fresh out of the box and just tucked away in storage, ready for use, so I don't think they're going to get much weathering. I've done a little bit on here just to blend it in with everything else, really, as you know, as we've already discussed, just to tie everything together. I haven't bothered at all with the other side because we're not going to see that at all. So now it's a matter of following the instructions. We'll get to the bits in here. We're going to put all this all together. We've already done that bit. This bit here is the access hatch that sits on there. I've done that too. That's around here somewhere as well. I think we'll leave that off just for now, but we'll get the rest of it done and see how it goes. Right, so what have we got? Well, obviously we've got the roof, and you'll see there I've give that an oil wash as well. The torpedo tubes are all nicely done and ready to go. The aft torpedo room bulkhead, that's to go on there. We've got the main body of the room itself with the bunks and the racks and everything there. What else have we got to go? And we've got this, which is the a torpedo hanger, which goes into the roof, and a torpedo sits on there like that. Now, however, you may have remembered if you watched the first video, you may have remembered how in this section I protected a little piece of plastic that hung on here. I slid a little bit of polystyrene over it just to protect it so it didn't get knocked off, and guess what happened? Look, it's gone. No idea where it's gone. I'm going to have to make another one. I don't know how long it is, so I'm going to really have to sort of try and get everything together and then make something else to suit to replace it. This can then hang on there. I think it goes that way around, and when it's in, it will hang straight so that the torpedo looks as though it's ready to load directly into that tube there. But let's get it together first and we'll see how it goes together. Right, some bits of gluing the parts together. So right, where do we start? Let's start with this one. Obviously everything is or has been dry fit first, so I know that it's all gonna get around and go in the right spot. Put some glue in. Obviously as well, once we've got it all together, there'll be a little bit more weathering oil washes just to go on for the parts that we've missed. So that can go on there. Then the next one is this. We've missed a little bit. I knew we'd missed something. We have missed this bit. That bit there, I missed it. Hang on a minute. Give me a moment, I'll go find it. While the glue's drying, I'll find that missing bit. Hang on. Be right back. There we are. Found it. I knew I'd got it ready because I'd already primed it. I just forgot to finish it off by painting it, but I can catch up with that shortly. So that's that bit on. And now we can fit the torpedo floor, and in a moment you'll see it all when the glue's dried, and it will become a little bit more obvious about what's going on here. So just let me, it does clip together quite nicely. Nice for a trumpeter kit that these things do go together quite easily. Just running some glue along the lines. That's that end. And we can do the same, applying the glue underneath in here just in there, so we're not disturbing the weathering and the painting that we've done above, although we can always touch it up. Sorry if my head is getting in the way. Just using the brush just to get some glue into there. And settle down. So that won't turn it around just yet, because I'm going to let that bit go off, and then we can look at the forward end and get the torpedo tubes in. Let's see, it's going together now, even at this angle. Right, so a 2-minute break, time to go make a brew, and I'll come back and we'll put the front end on and the roof. Once again, see you in a minute. Oh well, here we go. It's all done in short segments, this, because we're just waiting for the paint the glue to dry. Right, putting the torpedo tube and the torpedo tube bulkhead into the main body of the torpedo room. What we've got to do here is ensure that the lower torpedo tubes, these, are lined up properly so that they don't foul this bottom step here, because what you can do, you can get them in too low, and if you see there, you'd never get the torpedo tube doors opened. So you've got to really take care that when we fit it all together, it's all lined up. And once again, with a test fit, I've found that the way to do this is slide it on, but don't glue it yet. Then stand it on the end. This is where you're going to sort of lose sight. Looks like a rocket ship now. You'll lose sight of what's happening. Then the roof, the deck head can go on. Nothing's glued yet. And then just take it, line it up, and it all will click together. And without gluing it just yet, I'm just going to try and get it all together. Looking for the locating hole for this tab. There. Now it's gone on there. It's in at the back, and we're looking good in there. That those torpedo tube doors don't foul the floor. So once again, it's going to be a case of glue and hold until it's gone off. So we can put the glue in here. Probably you could think of tape and things like that just to going to hold it. But once again, I think it's going to be just a matter of patience. Just to let the glue do its job, hold it, and be the clamp, because everything seems to be a little bit under force here, and it wants to pull itself apart, but we're really going to need to hold it, otherwise it'll take itself out of shape. Get the top in there, and we can turn it round, and then we can get some glue down into this joint here of the deck, and really just being patient. Look at that, it's like a rocket, until the glue goes off. We don't want to get to the final part of the model and people say, well, you can't open the doors on them bottom torpedo tubes. made. I see, attention to detail. I'm probably going to flick it across this desk here. Hang on, that's it. Holding it in there. That's why it's important just to check everything, make sure it's all lined up. I haven't glued down here yet the bulkhead to the deckhead, because that will push up into there, that will squeeze together, but we need to get this in here first. So it's quite important right from the start, from getting, move it back into the shot so you can see it. It's quite important right from the start, getting your torpedo tubes in and lined up, because that will set you on the right track for the next one. For the next stage, if you get that lined up, yeah, we're getting in there. So we're getting there. I haven't glued this end yet. I just want to glue this, get this part here held and glued. It's fairly good, this Tamiya extra thin, because it does melt and go off quite quickly, or it'll certainly grab. It won't be quite hard yet, but it'll grab enough to get the job done. Right. It's just a matter of just getting everything in. It's looking quite good. It's huge. You can see. There is that little issue yet of the torpedo and the torpedo rack hanging in there. That will go in there, something like that. So I've really got to work out just the right heights for everything. That's if I do that. I might actually lay the torpedo on the floor. I don't know. Have a think about it. While the glue's going off, I'll think about it and we'll come back. I'll have glued everything else up by then, because we're about done. And we'll be on to the last part of the torpedo room. Apart from the crew, of course. It's got some crew to go in there, yep. Alright, that's that bit. More time for the glue to set. See you in a moment. And welcome back. Right, I decided that I would put the torpedo tube, the torpedo, in there. Not there. I thought I'd put it up there. And I was actually going to show you how I did this, just by using, remember how we snapped the support off. We need excuse me, my arm. Need a small pointy stick for this. Remember how we snapped this little support bracket off in here? Move it up a little bit. I'd snapped that off and I had no way of finding it. I don't know where it had gone. So I had to make a spare one, just using a piece of scrap plastic. Not very much at all. And I was going to show you how it all went in and how it all glued together. And I did start filming it, and there was so much fiddling and so much messing around and swearing and rude words that I decided it would be best if I didn't show you how it went together at all. So safe to say it's been successfully glued in and left with lots of supports and sticks and all sorts to hold it up so it didn't fall down again, and let the glue dry. And I went to bed. I turned everything off and I went to bed and I left it. And I came back in the morning and here it is, it's all glued in. Move it up a little bit so we can see what's all going on in there. I did decide to put the torpedo room hatch in the top. I'll put that on now. You can see, hopefully for the lights, it looks really quite nice in there. And the rear torpedo room bulkhead down in there. It's a little bit difficult to see now because now the top's gone on and it all comes together. It's gone a bit dark and shadowy in there. I did try to take some pictures, and I'll add a few just at the end of this video just to sort of try and show you. I'll take some pictures in daylight tomorrow so I can try and show you what it's like inside there. But that is it. What I'm planning to do is big pointy stick around the edges here is I'll paint that sort of red. It'll be have a red outline, as though it's been, you know how you go to museums and you see bits of machinery and engines cut in half. They always paint the cut sections in red, and I think that makes it stand out a little bit more. It'll just look a little bit more attractive than sort of raw painted edges. So I'll do that, but I won't do that just now. I'll probably do it when it's all gone together. Right, so that is the torpedo room finished, and I've just left it down here. I've left the scale guide out so you can actually see how long it is. I'll take that out of there and just slide that. Let's slide the board over a little bit, so you can see the figures at the bottom. And this is really a big piece of kit. There, we're up to 33 centimeters. What's that? Almost, yeah, just a little over 12 inches. Here's a 135 scale Challenger tank for size comparison. And that's just one section. That's just one section of the submarine. There's another 6 to go, I think. I think there's 6 in total. All varying sizes. Torpedo room's probably, along with the control room, probably one of the biggest areas in the submarine. But we'll get on with that next. Get on with another compartment next. Now I was going to have a look and see what else, maybe make a start on another compartment on this video, but I think I've run on a little bit longer than I was thinking of for this section. So we'll have a look at doing the next section in the next video. And in the meantime, I understand I have word from the Kriegsmarine that the crew have been posted and been sent to the submarine, and in fact some are turning up. So these are 2 of the can you see them? These are 2 of the torpedo room crew. A couple of guys there. Put them together, and I've given them at the moment just a coat of black primer. So one guy be sitting on his bunk, be reading a newspaper or something like that, and this guy here maybe just stood hanging onto the rail and chatting to him. Now then, I've never really done figures, or I've never really done lots of them, so it'll be an experiment for myself to do these. So I'll probably do one of them, and then in the next video, if I'm successful at doing this one or this one, I'll come back, and in the next video I'll show you how to do some figures. Alright, well, I think it's time to call it an end for this video. That's the first bit of it together, and now I'm going to need to go and put this somewhere safe, and we'll make a start on the next one. Hopefully, now that we've got the live stream set up, I'll be able to crack on with the next bit a little bit faster and have the next video out in good time, and won't keep you waiting too long. Anyway, so that's me. That's Ted from eModels down here. emodels.co.uk. Ted at Skipper's Scale Models. You can find me on Facebook, where I post some of the behind the scenes pictures, so you can go along and have a look at how the build's progressing. And also join us if you're watching this now. I realise that some of you will find this video in a few years' time, so it's currently February 2017. On a Monday night we have a live stream. Go along to the eModels YouTube page or eModels Facebook page and have a look and join us on a Monday night for a live stream, a bit of fun and some chat, and occasionally some giveaways. That's free models. Right, I'm going to have to go and do some other stuff, and I'll see you all next time. Okay, bye now. Thanks for coming along. Bye.